said to be told of a man who, before his execution in the 5th century, wrote a letter to his girlfriend. And in signing off the letter, he wrote, "To my Valentine." And this is believed to be the genesis of the celebration of Valentine's Day. February all over the world is marked as the month of love, and also in celebration of Valentine. Today on Ghana Web TV, we'll be speaking to Ogo, a marriage counselor and the vice president of Synergis Institute. We'll be right back with more. Now we'll be delving more into Valentine. Ogo, so because I'm talking about Valentine, can you please be my Valentine?
Oh, wow. That is. Oh, this is all mine?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to be my Valentine for today.
Oh, Valentine cry. But you know, we show love always,
Yeah.
you know, and some of us there, when you call it Valentine, then we have a problem. But thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This looks like it's going to be really sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, it's the month of love.
That's what they say. You know, I just always have, you know, wonder why we have to wait for a certain season to show love when there's always need, or there are always needs to respond to, you know, in our lives around us and all of that. And it also kind of negates who we are as Africans, because this whole event has a season or has a reason behind it, and it's a fertility festival, you know, and we have our own. So I wish we can celebrate our own and just, you know, just raise it like the flag, you know, but
not Valentine.
Not Valentine, you know, and you know, like I was telling you a while ago, Africans are very romantic, you know, we're very, very romantic, and we show love in some of the most beautiful ways you can think about, you know, and we don't just show love to impress people, we do it heartily, you know, and if we can allow ourselves to pay attention to our values, our backgrounds, our culture, you know, we might actually become an example to the world. That's just me saying. You know,
is Valentine's Day affecting our culture?
Yes, to a very, very large extent. Well, affecting, you know, because it's still continuous. Yeah. Yes, but it has done much more harm, you know, than good to us in a lot of ways. Number one is that it has distracted us, you know, from what actually is important, you know, and how it should be done. And it is also reflecting the fact that we do not even know the history behind the event, you know, and we're just projecting it and talking about it just like that, you know, because that fertility feast, which interestingly happens in the season of February, from which we got February, you know, is also the feast of Lupercalia. And what usually happens is that goats are killed and the blood poured into buckets. And then, you know, the young men carry the blood around, and then they dip the tail into the bucket and just sprinkle. And so the lady or ladies that the blood, you know, sprinkle on become their mates for the night. And that was what was, you know, going on. And so there was a lot of debauchery and promiscuity, you know, that came along with it. And so you will also notice, I mean, some stations, I think even Ghana Web did a research one time to say that on Valentine's Day, condom is scarce.
Yeah.
They buy everything off, you know. And so it tells you that the debauchery and the promiscuity is still going on, you know. But the African society, our thinking, our way of life, the values that we project, even in the area of love, is being thrown away. And that's so the ladies wear white, you know, when the blood is being sprinkled, and that is the origin of the red and the white clothes or color that is used on the Valentine's Day, you know. But we have a lot of love in Africa, and I think we should project that love.
Based on the history that you just told me, I would want to ask, so are Christians allowed to celebrate or participate in the celebration of Valentine's Day?
Benny, you try to put me in trouble. Well, the interesting thing about Christianity, which a lot of people are not paying attention to, I mean, it as a religion, is that if Christians always profess that, they've been called out of darkness into the marvelous light, and you're still practicing what is darkness, then it leaves you with a lot of questions, as it were. And so, like I keep saying, you don't make decisions for people, but people should also look inward and ask themselves questions as to how consistent, whatever it is they're celebrating is with the faith they profess. I think it's a very, very good way to start. And this is not me condemning the culture or lifestyle of other people. If that is what the Europeans want to do, I mean, you can't, like I said, you can't judge the conscience of the people that you do not belong to. So I can only speak from an African perspective and say that the people that want to celebrate it just need to understand what they're doing, and not just call it what they think it should be. Understand what you're doing, then practice it with the knowledge, that is necessary. But then let the value of what you're speaking about, if it's about love, then let the value be about love. Show it, respond to a need, and let the people that are around you know that, they are loved. There are many women that get they get their diamonds changed every 3 months, and they travel abroad every 6 months, and they change their cars every December. Yet they will tell you that they don't feel loved because the husband or the man is not responding to the need that they have, the need for companionship, the need for his presence. So if you're giving her all the cars and all the visas and all the diamonds, but yet she doesn't feel loved, of what value is all that? No value, if you ask me. So we need to pay attention to the needs and respond to those needs, because it is in those responses that love is found.
Very deep. Let's talk about sex. Is sex really an integral part of marriage or every relationship?
Sex is an integral, I like that word again. As a matter of fact, on a scale, a lot of people actually try to figure out which should come first or which is more important, communication or sex, in a relationship or in a marriage. Sex is very, very important, and we cannot even begin to talk about the value that it adds in a relationship. It's one of the things that bonds the couple, and help them even flourish, the relationship. Sex is not just about the pleasure it adds. Sex also is about, it's therapeutic, apart from distressing, it brings about some health benefits. And you can ask any doctor, there's something that some feminists, I was reading a few things that they wrote, and they were making jokes about this concept of blue balls, and they're saying that, blue balls is when a guy wants to sleep with a woman and then he already has an erection, but then it didn't happen, then he has blue balls, and they use it to manipulate women a lot. That is just talking about it in a very mundane way. So you can see that denying your spouse, denying your husband of sex can actually kill him. Denying your wife of sex or being too busy, to help your wife get to that sexual ecstasy that is necessary, for the moment, can also depress her. And we have proof of this. It can be it can be a source of stress. And these things are capable of killing people. Sex is very important. We cannot be overemphasized.
Back to social media. How can we use social media to spice up sexual life?
Yes, one of the beautiful things that the social media has done is access to information, not just in terms of reading, but in terms of people that have also had experiences. We belong to various platforms on social media, various groups and all of that. And there are people that are bold enough to, share their experiences so that other people do not make the same mistakes that they made. And you see questions coming out and people doing a lot of research on how to spice up their sexual life and become more sexually active in their their relationships or in their marriages, you know. And in the process, a lot of people actually testify that some of the information they have received online, you know, has really helped them. You know, there are people that, you know, we used to just simply call nymphomania, just like that, you know. So you have some men that complain that their wives are always asking for sex, and you have men, women that say those things about their husbands as well, you know. Every little thing they are aroused. But now we know, you know, that there is actually a health situation that is associated with it, you know. Persistent genital arousal disorder or something like that, you know. And so you see, people learn, because when you start asking questions, you know, you get more information and all of that. Of course, you need to be careful what information you get, but you need to be strategic and deliberate about it. But those information that we get actually help us to make our sexual lives better.
Thank you very much, Ogo, for your time today with us on Ghana Web TV. Ogo is a marriage counselor and the vice president of Synergies Institute. I hope you enjoyed our discussion today on Ghana Web TV. I am your host, Owusu Abenes. See you same time on Ghana Web TV.